Welcome back to Kindness Stories, where simple moments teach powerful lessons and real-life events reveal the strength of character, compassion, and courage. Today's story will take you deep into a classroom where kindness, strength, and hidden talent collide in the most unexpected way. Let's begin. The classroom buzzed with low murmurs, the fluorescent lights casting a sterile glow over the polished desks and stiff-backed chairs. It was the first day of an adult learning program at the community college, and students were slowly filtering in, some young and energetic, others older, more reserved. One by one, they found their seats. At the very back of the room sat a woman, maybe in her early 30s. Her name was Aaliya. She wore a simple hijab, a plain beige tunic over jeans, and her hands were folded neatly in her lap. She was quiet, observant, the kind of person you'd miss in a crowd if you weren't looking. Aaliya had enrolled in the adult education program to finish her high school diploma. Life had taken many turns: family responsibilities, financial struggles, moving from city to city, but now she had a chance to do something for herself. She was nervous, of course, but excited too. Education had always been something she valued deeply. But not everyone in that classroom was there for the same reason. In the row beside her sat a small group of younger students. Three of them, in particular, seemed to gravitate toward each other right away: Jared, Lacey, and Mike, all in their early 20s, dressed stylishly, and each one carrying the kind of casual arrogance that fed off weaker personalities. From the moment they noticed Aaliya, their whispers began. At first it was just giggles, then remarks, then snide comments, barely whispered behind cupped hands. She could hear them, of course. They didn't really try to hide it. Why, she dressed like a curtain, Lacey muttered under her breath. I bet she can't even speak proper English, Jared added, with a smirk. Mike laughed. Yo, maybe she's some spy or something. Ever seen that movie where the lady's a ninja in disguise? They all cracked up at that, loud enough for the teacher to glance over and give them a warning look. Aaliya didn't say anything. She just looked down at her notebook and started taking notes. She wasn't going to let anyone take away the opportunity she had waited years for. But it didn't stop. Every class, every break, every assignment, there they were, laughing, mimicking her accent when she asked questions, sharing edited photos of her in their group chats, photoshopped in ridiculous outfits or cartoon bombs beside her. It was humiliating. She never complained, never retaliated, just kept showing up. The teacher, Mr. Grant, noticed. He tried to call out their behavior a few times, but they always backed off just long enough to avoid real trouble. Jared was the son of someone on the school board. Mike's older sister worked in the admin office, and Lacey had perfected the art of playing innocent when caught. One day, as class ended, Aaliya was packing her bag when she felt a soft tap on her shoulder. It was Emma, a quiet girl who usually sat at the front. Hey, she said, nervously. I just wanted to say, I think it's really brave how to keep showing up here every day. They're awful, and you don't deserve it. Aaliya smiled, the first real smile anyone had seen from her in weeks. Thank you. That means more than you know, she replied gently. The next day, Mr. Grant made an announcement. As part of our public speaking module, you'll each be giving a presentation on something you're passionate about. It can be anything: a hobby, a personal experience, a cause. We'll start presentations next week, the class groaned, but Aaliya quietly nodded. She already knew what she wanted to talk about. The week passed. Jared, Mike, and Lacey took every opportunity to joke about their upcoming presentations. I'm going to talk about the art of sarcasm, Mike said, winking at Lacey. Maybe I'll teach everyone how to post passive-aggressive tweets, she giggled. When it was Aaliya's turn, the classroom was unusually quiet. She walked to the front, stood confidently, and looked up at the class. She was still wearing her plain clothes, still soft-spoken, but there was something different in her posture, something grounded, strong. My name is Aaliya, she began, and today, I want to talk about martial arts, specifically how it saved my life. The class shifted. Eyes widened. Jared snorted, but even he leaned forward slightly. I started training in mixed martial arts when I was 16. At first, it was just for fun, a way to stay active, but it became much more. It gave me discipline, focus, confidence, and most importantly, it gave me peace. She clicked a button on the projector. Photos appeared her in training gear, posing with medals, standing with her coach. One picture showed her midair, executing a flawless kick. I hold a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and a second-degree black belt in Taekwondo. I've competed in over 20 tournaments. I've taught self-defense workshops to women across 3 cities. The class was silent now. Even Jared's face had lost its smug expression. But none of that matters if I allow fear or hatred to control me. That's why I've stayed silent while some of you mock me, because I know who I am, and I don't need to prove anything to anyone. She looked directly at the trio in the back. Not angry, not smug, just steady. I am here to learn, just like you. My silence isn't weakness. It's choice, a choice to focus on what matters. She ended the presentation with a simple bow, then walked back to her seat. The room erupted into applause. Even Mr. Grant stood up. That, he said, was one of the most powerful presentations I've ever seen. For once, Jared, Mike, and Lacey had nothing to say. No jokes, no whispers. After class, as Aaliya walked out into the courtyard, she felt a presence beside her. It was Mike. Hey, he mumbled. That was cool. I didn't know you were like, legit. Aaliya looked at him, expression unreadable. Thank you, she said. But maybe next time, just treat people with respect from the beginning. You never know what they've been through. He nodded sheepishly and walked away. Word of her presentation spread fast. Over the next few days, students who had never spoken to her came up to say hello. Emma invited her to study group. Even Jared began to avoid her gaze, no longer laughing when she walked past. The bullying stopped not because she threatened them, not because she fought back, but because she showed them a strength they didn't understand. A strength that didn't need fists or shouts. A strength built on patience, purpose, and self-respect. Weeks passed, then months. By the end of the semester, Aaliya had one of the highest grades in the class. She gave another presentation at the school's community night, this time teaching basic self-defense techniques. Over 50 people attended. And one night, as she was locking up after her workshop, a young woman approached her hesitantly. You don't know me, the woman said, but I saw your story on the school newsletter. I've been scared to go back to school because of how I dress, how I look, but now I think I will. Aaliya smiled, not because she had silenced the bullies, but because she had inspired someone else to rise. The truth is, kindness doesn't always look soft. Sometimes it looks like quiet resilience. Sometimes it looks like calm power. And sometimes it looks like a simple woman who walks into a room where she's not welcome and turns it into a place where others feel brave enough to follow. Thank you for watching. If this story moved you, please consider subscribing to Kindness Stories for more powerful real-life tales of compassion, courage, and change. And remember, never underestimate the strength of the quiet ones. They just might surprise you.